Have you ever wished for more time? Maybe you wished you had another hour to study for a test. Or maybe you wished you could try something again because you made a mistake. What if you got your wish? What if you got a whole day to do over? Not just once, but again and again. Imagine waking up every morning and it's always the same day. The same date on the calendar, the same weather outside your window, the same breakfast on the table. This is the idea of a time loop. It's a day that repeats itself forever. At first, it might sound like a fun adventure. But what would it really be like to live the same day over and over again? It could be a wonderful gift, but it could also be a terrible trap. Living in a time loop means you are the only one who knows what is happening. Everyone else around you is living the day for the first time. Your mom says the same thing every morning. Your friends tell the same jokes. The school bell rings at the exact same moment. For them, it's just a normal day. But for you, it's a copy of yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. You are a secret keeper of time. You hold all the memories of the hundreds, or even thousands of times this single day has happened. This special knowledge gives you a strange kind of power, but it also makes you feel very, very alone in a world that resets every time you fall asleep. This strange situation brings up a big question. Is living the same day forever a blessing or a curse? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? The answer isn't simple. It's not just one or the other. It's both. There are amazing things you could do if you had endless chances to get a day right. You could become a hero. You could learn incredible new skills. You could fix every mistake you ever made on that one day. The possibilities seem as endless as the repeating sunrises. You could explore every corner of your town, talk to every person, and uncover secrets no one else has the time to find. It's like having a playground where nothing you do has lasting consequences for anyone but you. But there is another side to this coin, a darker, more difficult side. Think about what you would lose. You would never have a birthday. You would never see the next season. Your friends would never grow up with you. They would be stuck as they are, forever. The world outside your single day would move on without you. Or maybe it wouldn't move on at all. The feeling of being trapped could become overwhelming. The boredom could feel like a heavy blanket you can't throw off. The loneliness could be the hardest part of all. So as we explore this idea, we have to look at both the light and the shadow of a day that never, ever ends. One of the greatest things about a repeating day is the chance for a do-over. We all have moments we wish we could take back. Maybe you said something unkind to a friend. You felt bad about it the second the words left your mouth. In a normal life, you have to apologize and hope they forgive you. But in a time loop, you get another chance. You wake up the next morning and it's the same day again. The argument hasn't happened yet. You can choose to say something different. You can be kinder. You can avoid the fight altogether and spend the day laughing with your friend instead. This power to fix your mistakes could make you a better person, one day at a time. Imagine you are trying to do something difficult, like asking someone to the school dance. The first time you might be too nervous. You might stumble over your words or say the wrong thing. You go to bed feeling embarrassed. But then you wake up, and it's the same morning. You get to try again, and again, and again. Each time you learn a little more. You figure out what works and what doesn't. You can practice being brave until it feels natural. After many tries, you might finally have the perfect conversation. The time loop gives you a safe space to practice courage without any permanent failure. It's like having a rehearsal for life's tricky moments. This isn't just about big, scary things. It's also about the small stuff. Maybe you spilled juice on your shirt at breakfast. In a time loop, you can learn to be more careful the next time. Maybe you missed the bus because you were running late. The next time the day repeats, you know exactly when to leave the house. You can perfect your daily routine until it is completely smooth. You can make the day go exactly as you want it to. You can win the video game you could never beat. You can say the perfect comeback to a joke. You become the master of this one single day. It's a feeling of control that is impossible to have in a normal, unpredictable life. This ability to fix things can be a huge relief. Life is full of pressure. We often feel like we only have one shot to get things right, but in a time loop, that pressure is gone. There is no such thing as a final failure. If something goes wrong, you just wait for the day to reset. This freedom can be wonderful. It allows you to experiment and take risks you would never take otherwise. You could try telling a silly joke to the grumpiest person you know, just to see what happens. If they don't laugh, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow, they won't remember. This endless supply of second chances is a powerful and comforting gift. With an endless number of repeating days, you would have enough time to learn almost anything you wanted. Think about a skill you wish you had. Maybe you want to learn how to play the guitar. In normal life, it takes months or even years of practice. You have to fit lessons in between school, homework, and other activities. But in a time loop, you have all the time in the world concentrated into one single day. You could spend the entire day, from morning until night, just practicing the guitar. You could watch online tutorials, read music books, and practice chords over and over. When you wake up the next morning, you still remember everything you learned. After a few weeks of repeating the same day, you might become pretty good at the guitar. After a few months, you could be an expert. You could learn to play every song you've ever loved. You could even learn to write your own music. And the learning doesn't have to stop there. Once you've mastered the guitar, you could move on to something else. You could spend the next 100 days learning a new language. You could listen to conversations, read books from the library, and practice speaking with people who won't remember your mistakes. Bit by bit, day by day, you could become fluent in Spanish, French, or Japanese. The possibilities are truly endless. You could learn how to cook amazing meals just by trying different recipes in the kitchen every day. You could learn how to paint beautiful pictures, spending each repeating day in the art room at school. You could read every single book in the town library, one book per day. Imagine the knowledge you would have. You could learn about science, history, and mathematics. You could become an expert on dinosaurs or outer space. You would have the time to follow every curiosity and answer every question that pops into your head. You could become the smartest, most talented person in the world, all within the secret of your repeating day. This ability to learn and grow isn't just about fun hobbies. It could also be used to help people. For example, if someone got hurt during the day, you could spend many repeating days at the library learning first aid. You could memorize every step for how to handle different emergencies. Then, when the moment happens again, you would know exactly what to do. You could be in the right place at the right time to prevent an accident or help someone who is in trouble. Your secret knowledge, gained over countless repeating days, could turn you into a quiet, everyday hero. You could make the world a better place one day at a time. There is a special kind of joy that comes from trying again and finally succeeding. In a time loop, this joy is something you could experience over and over. Think about a challenge, like building a complicated model airplane. The first time you try, the pieces might not fit together correctly. The glue might get everywhere. You might get frustrated and give up. But in a time loop, you get to start fresh the next morning. You can use what you learned from your first failed attempt. Maybe this time, you read the instructions more carefully. Maybe you organize the pieces before you start. It might still not be perfect, but it's a little better than before. This process of trial and error is a powerful way to learn. Each time the day repeats, you bring with you the memory of your past attempts. You know which paths lead to failure and which ones might lead to success. It's like being a scientist running an experiment. You change one small thing each day to see what the result will be. This slow, steady progress can be incredibly satisfying. You can see yourself getting better and better at something. The frustration of failure is softened because you know you will always have another chance to try again. The focus shifts from worrying about failure to enjoying the process of improvement. Imagine using this power to build relationships. Perhaps there is a quiet person at school you have always wanted to be friends with. On the first day, you might not know what to say. The conversation might be awkward, but the next day, you can try a different approach. You remember that they like a certain book, so you can ask them about it. Day after day, you can learn more about them. You learn about their hobbies, their family, and their dreams. Each conversation is a new attempt to connect. Over many repeating days, you could build a deep and meaningful friendship, even if the other person only experiences it for the first time on the day you finally get it right. This joy of persistence can change how you see challenges. Instead of seeing them as scary obstacles, you start to see them as fun puzzles to be solved. There's no risk, so you can be creative and bold. You could try to win a local pie-eating contest, learning the perfect strategy over dozens of attempts. You could try to make the most amazing sandcastle at the park, perfecting your design day after day. This freedom from consequences allows for pure play and exploration. The happiness comes not just from the final success, but from the journey of getting there, a journey you get to take as many times as you need. While a repeating day has its bright sides, it also has a very dark side. At first, the sameness might be comforting. It's predictable and safe. You know exactly what's going to happen. But after a while, that sameness can start to feel like a prison. Imagine eating the same breakfast every single morning for a year. The first few times you might enjoy your favorite cereal, but after the 100th time, the taste would become dull and boring. After the 1000th time, you might not be able to even look at it. The things you once loved can become things you can't stand, simply because you've experienced them too many times. This boredom would spread to every part of your day. The jokes your friends tell would no longer be funny. You've heard them 1,000 times before. The lessons in school would be mind-numbingly dull. You memorized them long ago. Even the sunshine might lose its cheerfulness when it's the exact same sunshine you've seen every morning for what feels like an eternity. The world, which once felt full of surprises, would become completely predictable. There would be no new movies to watch, no new songs to hear on the radio, and no new stories to read. The lack of novelty would be crushing. It would feel like living in a world that has run out of ideas. This feeling of being stuck can lead to a sense of hopelessness. If every day is the same, then what is the point of doing anything? You could learn a new skill, but who would you share it with? You could fix a mistake, but it will just happen again tomorrow when the day resets. The motivation to do anything can slowly drain away. You might start to feel like a ghost, haunting the same day over and over. You are present, but you are not really a part of the world because nothing you do has any lasting impact. This feeling of meaninglessness is a heavy weight to carry. The world outside your window would feel like a movie that you are forced to watch again and again. You see the same people walking down the street, the same cars driving by, and the same birds singing in the trees. At first, you might find beauty in these small details. You might notice things you never saw before, but eventually the repetition would strip away all the beauty. It would all just become noise. The world would stop feeling real and start feeling like a cheap copy of itself. The endless repetition could make you feel completely and utterly alone, trapped in a cage made of time. One of the hardest parts of living in a time loop would be watching the people you care about be stuck with you. While you are learning and growing on the inside, they are not. Your little sister is always the same age. Your parents never have another birthday. Your friends are frozen in time, forever the same people they were on that one single day. You might spend years inside the loop, feeling like you are growing older, but on the outside, you look exactly the same. You would have the mind of an adult trapped in the body of a child. This disconnect would be incredibly lonely. Think about your friendships. In a normal life, friendships change and grow over time. You share new experiences, you face challenges together, and you make new memories. But in a time loop, none of that can happen. The only new memories being made are yours. You might have a wonderful conversation with a friend one day, feeling closer than ever. But when you wake up, that progress is erased. Your friend doesn't remember any of it. You have to start all over again. It would be like trying to build a sandcastle right where the waves crash. No matter how beautiful you make it, it will always be washed away. This lack of progress would be heartbreaking. You would see your loved ones make the same mistakes every day, and you would be powerless to help them in any lasting way. Maybe your dad always burns the toast. You can tell him not to, and for that one day he won't. But tomorrow, he will burn it again, because for him it's the first time. You could watch your friends struggle with a difficult problem, and even if you help them solve it, they will be struggling with the exact same problem again when the day resets. You are the only one moving forward, while everyone else is stuck on repeat. This feeling of being stuck would also mean you miss out on life's biggest moments. You would never graduate from school. You would never get your driver's license. You would never fall in love and have that relationship grow over weeks, months, and years. All the milestones that people look forward to would be forever out of your reach. You are trapped in a single chapter of a book, while the rest of the story remains unwritten. This feeling of being left behind by life itself could lead to a deep and lasting sadness. It's a profound kind of loneliness, being the only person in the universe who knows that tomorrow will never come. Living in a time loop would eventually make you feel like an outsider. You're in the world, but not truly a part of it. You become an observer, watching the same scenes play out day after day. It's like watching a play where you know every line and every movement. You know when the mail carrier will arrive. You know which neighbor will trip on the sidewalk. You know exactly what will be for lunch in the school cafeteria. This knowledge separates you from everyone else. They are living their lives full of spontaneous moments and surprises, but for you, there are no surprises left. This turns you from a participant into a spectator. This separation can make it hard to connect with people. How can you have a real conversation with someone when you already know what they are going to say? How can you feel genuine surprise or joy with your friends when you are just acting out a part? You might start to feel like you are lying to everyone all the time. You have to pretend you don't know the answers to the teacher's questions. You have to feign shock when your friend tells you a piece of news. This constant acting would be exhausting. It would build a wall between you and the people you love, a wall they don't even know exists. Over time, you might start to pull away from other people. It might become easier to just watch them from a distance. If you don't interact, you don't have to pretend. You could spend your days just walking around town, watching people live their lives. You would be like a ghost, invisible to the real flow of life around you. This isolation could be comforting at first, a way to escape the pressure of faking your emotions. But eventually, it would deepen your loneliness. Humans need connection, and in a time loop, real, growing connections are impossible. You are on the outside, looking in through a window at a world you can no longer touch. This feeling of being an observer could also change how you see other people. When you watch the same person do the same thing every day, you might start to see them as less than real. They might begin to seem like characters in a video game or puppets on a string. You know all their patterns and all their secrets. This could lead to a loss of empathy. It would be easy to forget that for them their feelings are real and their experiences are new. The greatest danger of the time loop is not just boredom or sadness, but losing your own humanity by seeing others as objects in your repeating world. Despite all the challenges, a time loop offers a unique opportunity for personal growth. When all the outside distractions are gone and you are left with only yourself and the same day, you are forced to look inward. At first, you might use the loop for fun, playing pranks and taking silly risks. Then you might use it to learn skills like playing an instrument or a new language. But after you've done all that, what's left? What do you do when you have experienced every possible outcome of a single day? This is when the real journey can begin. A journey of understanding yourself. Without the pressure of time moving forward, you have the space to think about who you are and who you want to be. You can reflect on your own actions and motivations. Why did you get angry in that conversation? Why were you afraid to try something new? You can replay situations over and over, not to change the outcome, but to understand your own reactions. You can practice patience, kindness, and empathy. You could spend a day just listening to someone, truly trying to understand their perspective. The loop becomes a laboratory for your own character. You can experiment with being a better person. This inner growth is the one thing that can't be erased when the day resets. The skills you learn are useful, but the person you become is even more important. You could learn to be selfless. You could spend your repeating day finding small ways to help people. You might help someone carry their groceries, give a lost tourist directions, or simply offer a kind word to someone who looks sad. These acts might be erased by the reset, but the habit of kindness will be carved into your own soul. You are not changing the world, but you are changing yourself, which is the only thing you truly have control over in the loop. Ultimately, the time loop could teach you the most important lesson of all, how to find meaning and joy in the present moment. When you have no tomorrow to look forward to, and no past that changes, all you have is today. You learn to stop chasing after what's next and start appreciating what is right in front of you. You might find beauty in a single ray of sunlight. You might find joy in a perfect cup of hot chocolate. You learn to live fully in the now, because the now is all you have. This profound sense of mindfulness could be the greatest gift of the time loop, a treasure you carry with you even after it ends. Imagine that one day, after thousands of repetitions, you go to sleep, and when you wake up, something is different. The sun is shining in a new way. The calendar on your wall shows a new date. It is tomorrow. The loop is broken. The world has finally moved forward. How would you feel? At first, there would be a huge sense of relief. The prison of sameness is gone. Freedom. The future is no longer a blank wall, but an open road full of possibilities. You can finally have new experiences, make new memories, and see your friends and family grow and change. But this new freedom would also be terrifying. For the first time in what feels like a lifetime, your actions have real consequences. If you make a mistake, there are no do-overs. If you say something hurtful, you can't take it back by waiting for the day to reset. The safety net is gone. Every choice matters again. This pressure could be overwhelming. You would have to relearn how to live in a world that is unpredictable and messy. You would have to be careful and thoughtful in a way you haven't had to be for a very long time. The world is no longer your personal playground. You would also carry all of the knowledge and experiences from your time in the loop. You might be a teenager on the outside, but on the inside you have the wisdom and skills of someone who has lived for centuries. This would make you very different from your peers. How do you explain that you can speak 5 languages and play the piano like a concert professional? How do you relate to your friends' everyday problems when you have faced the existential dread of living the same day forever? You would have to carry your secret past with you, which could still make you feel isolated, even in a world that is moving forward. In the end, breaking free from the loop would be a new beginning. You would be a different person than you were before you entered it. You would be wiser, more skilled, and perhaps more appreciative of the simple gift of a new day. You would understand the value of time in a way that no one else can. You would know that every moment is precious because it only happens once. The loop, which was once a curse, would have become a strange and difficult teacher. And as you step into your first real tomorrow, you would carry its lessons with you, ready to live a fuller, richer life because you know just how terrible it is to be stuck in yesterday.